Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 Majors Analysis Update for the 21st of October 2011. Okay, what's happening on this Friday morning? Well, what have we seen this week from this pair? Euro against US dollar here on our daily. You can see quite clearly price has just been going sideways. A lot of indecision, spinning tops, dojis, further spinning tops. Asian market session going into European session this morning, very indecisive as well, quite a small trading range. And these highs are getting slowly lower as we've gone into this consolidation range. One thing to remember is we don't have any lower swings, so previous support and resistance seems to be holding up here at 13,700, the psychological resistance level. I'm just going to put that in. Price is still trading above the 20-period moving average. Yesterday's trading range we saw had dipped below as it did previously. And good thing I didn't trade this yesterday because it's just nuts. Touched the bottom of the wick that we saw previously here, just above the 36,6,500, and it closed high again. CTC is still negative. We're still trading below the 50-period moving average, which happens to be acting as a slight resistance level. It is starting to curve off a bit. Momentum is shifting. 20-period moving average is slowly starting to edge higher, but it is hedging higher very indecisively. We know that there are issues through Europe. Again, it seems the IMF and the EU are still plodding along, trying to see if Greece should get further funding. Greece's austerity plan has been passed, all but one vote against it in the Greek Parliament, but it still remains to be seen. It's starting to look more and more wary. However, we've seen price move higher, even though we've had really crap figures out of Europe. So trade what's on the chart. At the moment I'm very indecisive. I want to see a decision candle and then I'll act on it. A lot of trading wicks. Yes, if you want to try and scalp a couple of pips intraday, then sure enough you should be able to do that. But as long as, you look at the 15-minute chart, for example, this is what's happening. 9 AM yesterday saw a massive move to the upside, however all taken back against the major trend, and then we saw further upside movement, and then we're moving sideways. 50 minutes, all is trading above all the moving averages, etc., which is good. However, you can still see the CTC on this time frame is pretty much inconsistent. We do have lower highs. If you take those highs over there, and you can see we're still above it, so potentially getting into this only for it to go against you, it's not really worth it. Ideally, you want to see a definite bearish or bullish candle to confirm price direction. We don't want to be caught in these moves that are not really doing much. A good example of that is way back on this pair. Here we go. A lot of indecision back in April, May of this year. A lot of indecision. I know it was well extended and we saw something, but we want a decision candle. We got our decision candle, then you act on it. It's so important. Yes, you're going to miss out on most of it, but I can assure you, if you had seen price trading below this range, this candle here going into that day, then you would have definitely seen price momentum moving in your favor to the downside. So yeah, we want to see a decision candle. The fact that it's actually trading slightly higher on each of these ranges, we're still going higher, even though we had looking bullish upside, but very indecisive. I want to see a decision. I want to see a definite decision from the market, and then we'll trade it. So as it stands now, very, very indecisive. Have a look at your news announcements this morning to see if anything that's really going to factor in. We have a lot of meetings speaking. FOMC members speaking this evening at 6 AM GMT onwards. We have Fisher, Yellen. Another one I can't even pronounce, to be honest with you. Euro this morning we have ECB Tricker speaking. I think it's his last day at the office. At 8:45 AM GMT this morning, and then we have 9 AM Euro German Info Business Climate figures. So not much else other than that. So yeah, just have a look and see. It's started off very volatile again this morning. 6 AM a break to the upside, and now it's just hanging. We've seen a massive pullback. Fishing again. You can see the price still not failing to trade higher than the previous high that we saw here at 1 AM on the Asian market session. So resistance, Ideally, if you want to be looking for any further upside movement, then try and look for a definite break above the Asian high, because you can see quite clearly going sideways in a consolidated range, which happens to be above the institution moving average. So if anything, we are trading sideways to the upside. You can see we come from a low side and we are trading higher, but we are consolidating. We need to see a punch higher, 13.805 or 10 close, and then ultimately looking at 38.40 as our first potential target. Above that, we can look at the other high here at 13.870. So first I can say a target. You can see the indecisiveness here. The CTC really giving an indication of that. Very indecisive, not blue or red, just bouncing between both positive and negative signals. So got to see a decision ideally. For me, it's just 4 hour. Yes, we are trading above the institution moving average. All looking good. We do have swing highs. Previous one pretty much consolidating at the previous, but still not really all that great. Higher swings, as you can see here quite clearly. Price action, depending if you take the wicks or the bodies, price action is trading at an area where we should see some sort of indication. Now, are we going to get bearish downside or a punch higher? 4 hour chart. Less wicky, which is good trading. So I like to trade these ranges. You can see very indecisive. So ideally want to see a bullish engulfing here on this upside trend to show confirmation that we should be punching higher. Ultimately 3900 would be our first target, and then above that we have cleanish air to 1400, which is our psychological support and resistance on our daily long term. And then ultimately we get above that, then well, we can look at 14,500 overall. But we are trading above the institution moving average, and we are trading above the two smaller time frames. So trading all above all the moving averages. CTC is slightly unconvinced, but the overall pattern as we have been upside, CTC is going to show us that. So what we need now is to see a bullish engulfing to confirm further upside movement, as we've seen a lot of indecision in the past the past 8 hours. We are trading higher, so if price can actually build on the momentum, you can see that we had a previous prior resistance here. Price is trading above it. If we can just punch higher now, it'd be fantastic. If I could draw a straight line, it'd be fantastic. There we go. So the higher of those candles there, if I just extend it, so roughly 1377. If price can stay above that on that time frame, then yes, look at your potential highs. But a lot of indecision. Need to see a bullish or bearish engulfing to confirm the upside movement. It's far better to give it to the market than be stuck in trades just going nowhere and just eating away at your account for no reason. We want to see progression. The good thing is we are trading above institution. We are trading above all the moving averages. We have been in a bull trend, but we are starting to see lower highs now, dictating that price is consolidating. And that consolidator, if you take the lows here and you put the high, then as long as price is also trading above the 23.6 fib pullback or retracement area, then great. But we have seen price testing the institution moving average, which happens to be roughly around the 38.2% mark now as the next potential if you see a break of that 13,700 psychological support and resistance area. So got to stay higher. Next up is sterling against US dollar. Let's have a look at the daily. Okay, same here. Slight pullback recently, and we can see price has bounced, found a psychological support here at 15,700, which happens to be prior resistance support, and we've seen price edging slightly higher. This bullish engulfing candle here on a spinning top, very indecisive candle on the pullback. Then we've seen yesterday's candle, a long wick, pretty much pulling back way back, but price action is still closing higher going into the close of the US session, and Asian markets trading slightly higher. So this one's pretty much looking a lot more decisive than the euro against US dollar. So if anything, price action we've been to 15,800 before, and it looks like we could potentially be seeing it again. However, on this time frame, we only have two parts of the CTC. But if we look, for example, at our 4 hour, the great beauty here is we are trading above the institution moving average, and you can quite clearly see that we've had a prior resistance here just recently above us. So what we want to see is swing highs. Yes, we have had swing highs. We know that 15,700 is a psychological support and resistance level on a daily, so let's put that in. Got to put together a picture. So bounce, 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 a lot of hammer here, further support here, bullish engulfing at the bottom, almost a morning star formation, and we've seen higher. Still indecisive the last 8 hours or so. This morning, yes, we've got a buy and we're heading higher. This is far better looking than the European euro against US dollar pair. So moving average all below us, which is important, including the institution moving average and the CTCs in our favor on this time frame. Hourly, let's have a look. Same thing here. A lot of wicks as we speak. You can see a lot of wicks in the past couple of hours or so. The Asian market session hasn't really been trading any higher. We have failed at the 1582. It hasn't managed to go any higher than that. We are seeing a pullback as we speak. So are we seeing a change in market sentiment from more of a bullish stance now to potentially a bearish indicator? So let's have a look at the relative strength. We can plot a relative strength index on here to give us further indication of that or an idea. Let's have a look. Okay, as we've been heading higher on this pair, you can see that price has also been trading in an overbought area. Notice we are trying to head higher. However, price action has been trading lower than the previous one. Notice this previous high here and the high here where we tackle the same thing are pretty much on par with each other, around the 70. This candle way up here, way extended, and you can see that price is going sideways. The one thing to remember, if you want to see either divergence occurring on price, you want to see RSI dropping as price is heading higher and trading near a potential long-term support and resistance level. We know that here at 158500 is a very strong support and resistance level on our daily, so that will be our ceiling level. And as we've been trading higher to that, you can see relative strength has been dropping off. So it looks like we could see almost a bearish sentiment creeping into this first thing this morning. So we could see potential lows. Candlestick wicks are more to the downside. You can see the hourly candle that's trading right now. You can see it's quite indecisive. More trading or more sentiment at the bottom end of the wick than at the top. And 158200 seems to be confirming that. So let's look for further bearishness on this particular setup. Close lower than, I think if we look over here, nice bearish engulfing, closing lower than 1578 or the 1578.50 mark will definitely potentially give us further cause to look for further downside. The institution moving average here at 157300 could be a potential target, as it's used it before as a support. So as we look at this, you can see price is consolidating this area of a lot of resistance here over the past couple of days. It's got to be trading above that to see any further extensions higher. Until such time as it's doing that, then we should be seeing potential consolidation taking place. Next pair is US dollar Swiss franc. Let's look at the daily. You can see price action stalling yesterday and failing to trade higher than its previous resistance level, which happened to be a prior support, new resistance here at the 905 mark, and we saw price falling lower, engulfing all of this these past 2 days, and sure enough we've seen the Asian market take it even lower this morning. One thing to see here is the fact that the prior resistance here before the institution before we saw the breakout is in play. We see a trade lower than that. You can see it's trading lower than the previous swing, the downside, and if that's the case, then ultimately the institution moving here at 875 is potentially our next target. The upside trend has been breached or is in play. Let's have a look here. Okay, higher swing, bang, bang, in play at the psychological resistance here. Sorry, support. We do need to see some sort of indication of a bounce. At the moment now, bearish engulfing, not looking at that. If you take the actual bodies, then we've seen a break of that. This is where, if you take the wicks, yes, we could see potential a bounce here. there is a prior resistance level here before we saw a breakout of that. So CTC wise, we're still consolidating upside. We are seeing a low. This yesterday's candle lower has formed a little swing, so what you're seeing effectively is that. So you can see that now we've formed a lower swing and price action is looking lower. We have broken through the prior support here, for example. So that's ultimately our first target. Break below that would be this area here where we saw previous support and resistance at the 8700 mark, which will bring us back to the institution moving average and the 50-period moving average by the time it gets there, if that is the case. Not much else. Potential for support or bounce here. We have a bullish engulfing, a bearish engulfing, apologies. If you look at the 4 hour, for example, we have breached that for the first time since we saw the intervention from the Swiss government and when they pegged its currency, and we saw the massive upside movement. You can see quite clearly here that we had prior resistance and a lot of support going through there, and we've breached through that. In doing so, it's now trading below the institution moving average, and all the moving averages and the CTCs in our favor for further shorting opportunities. Ultimately, our next goal, potential goal, is right down here at 86.70, 86.50, 86.50. Yep. In this trade, as it stands now, if we can close, price might pull back. You can see as we've headed lower, price has actually close slightly higher. So if we can see the next candle closing lower, it will definitely give us an indication that we should be looking for further shorting opportunities. And if that's the case, then ultimately what we could do is take the high of this to the consolidation range up to the resistance, and we can plot our charts. Notice that 86.50 is 100% extension of that initial move, pullback, continuation. So 50% is in play now. Break below that, then look at the 61.8 at 8800. And ultimately 100 at 865 as a potential target for this pair. Last pair of the day is US dollar Japanese yen. Let's have a look at the daily. As I mentioned yesterday, psychotic US Japanese yen. Third day of indecision at this, and you can see moving averages going sideways, very indecisive. Yet again, Asian market going to European session has traded lower. But we are seeing the lows here of the wicks not being breached, and in doing so, price is still going sideways. So 76.70 still holding up. We'd like to see a break below that to see further extensions lower to at least the prior support at the 76.10 mark. Failure to see that occurring, a bearish engulfing here, would see price bounce higher. As you can see at the CTC, it is still very indecisive. So on this particular one, not worth trading. Look at the 4 hour chart, for example. It looks like the heartbeat of a hummingbird. Not worth it. I don't trade this one, particularly because it's so very indecisive at the moment. And it's just confirmation, 3 consecutive days of indecision. Got to see decision. If and when the decision candle occurs, then we can start plotting long term. Until then, not worth trading. So I'm not going to go any further on US dollar Japanese yen. Have a fantastic weekend with family and friends, guys. You might find that some of the pairs shall be consolidating today as people start to consolidate their wins or losses this week by upping their stops, etc., or pulling their profits off the table. Either way, we might see some pullbacks later this afternoon. So other than that, have a fantastic trading day. Keep it simple today, and I'll see you first thing on Monday morning. Trade serenely.